We can use drop-down or radio button widgets in our apps to change the measure displayed in tables and charts. In this example, we'll load all the measures from our dataset into a drop-down so that when we select a measure, both the table and chart that have already been set up in our app will change to reflect the selection. We'll start by adding a label to prompt users to select a measure. Now we'll resize and reposition the text object. Next, we'll add a drop-down widget to the canvas. We'll rename the widget in the Layout panel. Now we'll add a script variable, which is a global variable that can be used in multiple locations in the app. This script variable will let us access the measure selected from the drop-down. We'll call the variable current measure filter selection and set the default value to the gross margin plan measure. Next, we'll create a script object to define what will happen when a measure is selected. We'll name the folder Utils and the function setMeasureFilter. We'll also add an argument to the function called selectedID. We'll leave the type as the default of string. Now we can write the script for the function. A new tab opens where we can build a script to define what happens when the function is called. We can get assistance by pressing Ctrl+space, which brings up a list of objects and methods we can use to build our statements. In this example, we'll start by adding a statement to remove any dimensions already set in the table. We'll select the table object, add a period, open the Content Assistance again to select the getDataSource function, add another period and the removeDimensionFilter function, specify the account dimension from the data source, and end the statement with a semicolon. We'll also add a statement to replace the measures currently displayed in the chart with the default selection, then replace the measure for the table with the one selected in the drop-down and captured as the selected ID argument, and add the same measure to the chart. Now we'll define how to pass the selected measure to the setMeasureFilter function through the onSelect event of the drop-down widget. Here we'll add a script to get the selected value of the drop-down and pass it to the setMeasureFilter as a parameter. Finally, we'll define what happens when the application is first run through the onInitialization event of the canvas itself. When the application initializes, we'll load all the available measures of the table into the drop-down, set the selected key to the first measure in that list, and then set the measure filter to the same first measure. Now we'll save our changes and run the application. Here in the table, the original measures have been removed and replaced with the default gross margin plan measure. If we select a different measure, the table updates accordingly. If we switch to the chart, we can see that both the default measure and the newly selected measure display. Thanks for watching.